And we're back with more Ace Attorney Investigation 2. We are so close to the end, but Simon wants to keep this going. Jesus Christ. This might take 2 videos, I think. This might take 2 videos. I don't know, just looking at things going on right now. If we assume that the bullet hit something, it would have been the balloon's basket.
Let's examine it immediately.
Alright, it's underneath. There we go. Easy enough. This hole.
It's the bullet hole.
A bullet hole was found in the basket. You won't be able to talk your way out of this one. Excellent. How do you intend to explain the gunshot and bullet hole?
So you figured it out. You're good. I guess it's impossible to hide anything from you.
Spit it out already.
Okay. No need to be impatient.
Another testimony.
It happened when I was riding the balloon to the rooftop. I saw the body double and you, Miss Courtney, on the roof. Talk about a surprise. Only the double noticed me. He told Miss Courtney to leave ahead of him. He then pointed a gun at me and fired.
Why did he want to shoot down the balloon?
It's simple. The body double had intended to kill Miss Courtney.
Kill me?
That's right! You talked to the double about John, didn't you? Well, it's not like the body double would have met you otherwise. From his point of view, it was like showing him evidence that he was a fake.
You mean he was afraid of Judge Courtney because she knew about John's past?
Afraid. That's exactly right! That body double was a coward after all. I even remember how his hands were trembling when he fired the gun at my balloon! Are we all clear now? I was only there by chance. Just a friendly witness who was passing by.
That could be the case, but since we know you're the true culprit, we can't have that happen. Alright, what are we doing here? Let's press. Around what time was that?
I think it was around 11 p.m. It should coincide with the time Miss Courtney and company were on the roof, right?
Yes, it was indeed around that time. There doesn't seem to be any contradictions. However, the time frame is important.
And it was at that moment.
Are you saying this rooftop rendezvous was beyond your expectations?
There's no way I could have known about that beforehand. Well, once the dust settled, I could guess what would have happened, though. The double had intended to kill Miss Courtney. Hey, did you realize that?
No, I did not realize it.
It's because you were blabbing on and on about that kid. What kind of mother are you? If things had gone badly, your kid might have died because of you!
That's a little uncalled for. I'm your opponent, not her. Don't change the conversation. Judge Courtney, I'd like you to please leave this to me. My apologies, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Oh, Goddess of Law. Please, watch over this man and grant him aid.
You're making me laugh! This lady didn't even notice the balloon!
He had her leave ahead of him. Didn't you say the body double had planned to kill her?
Maybe he thought it would be bad if someone saw the scene of the murder? At the time, no one knew that the president was a fake, right? Once he got the info on John, he'd be able to kill both mother and son whenever he wanted. Thank goodness he's dead! Now you're both safe. You should be happy.
I would be happy if I knew those circumstances. Whatever emotions you have towards that man, please put them aside until it's all over. For now, please continue your story.
As you wish. And so, that cowardly body double must have panicked when an eyewitness suddenly appeared from the skies.
We're gonna skip that. Oh. Eyewitness testimony from the balloon.
So that means if Simon hadn't come,
Judge Courtney would probably have been in danger.
so wouldn't that mean he saved her life?
The motive behind Mr. Key's action was probably not so noble. After all, this man was there to commit a crime just like the fake president. To expose his crimes, I'll need to listen carefully to his testimony. There must be an opening somewhere. Let's pick that statement again, that last one. The bullet struck the balloon's basket cleanly.
I panicked and quickly tried to get away so he wouldn't shoot me down, but... talk about a close call.
You say you tried to get away right then.
That's right. Is there a problem?
Is there a problem with your statement? There feels like there is. You must have placed Kay on the rooftop. You couldn't have gotten away before then, correct?
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. After the body double fired one shot, he entered the hatch to the 51st floor. I looked around for a bit, and then landed on the roof.
That can't be right. Please add that statement to your testimony.
Sure, I don't mind.
Yeah, that can't make any sense considering who else was in there. Once again, you lied.
Lied?
The body double could not have entered the storeroom on the 51st floor 2 nights ago. Miss Hart's testimony proves it.
What? How can you trust that sham journalist's testimony?
What'd you say? You can't insult my mentor like that!
2 nights ago, that lady was staking out the 51st floor. Given that, just how did that body double leave the roof? Indeed, that is what we must now prove. He did not use the elevator or the 51st floor to leave the roof. Then only one route remains. How did the body double leave the roof without using the elevator or the 51st floor? The lion balloon. The body double flew. He...
Blue?
Simon Keyes, he rode in your balloon.
Hey, stop joking around. Why would I have needed to give the body double a lift?
The elevator had security camera, and the 51st floor was being watched by Miss Hart. Your balloon was the only way the body double could have left the roof.
At the circus, we often perform dangerous stunts in order to surprise the audience. You think you've got me cornered? Sorry, but the show ends here.
What?
Hey you, Lotta was it? I'd like to ask you something. Are you saying you stood watch on the 51st floor the entire time, without any breaks?
Oh.
Well, right, of course, there ain't no mistaking my testimony.
Really now? But didn't the sound of Mr. Edgeworth's assistant falling into the storeroom cause you to faint?
I didn't mention it before, but after that I might have dozed off a little. To be more precise, I fainted. Or something like that.
Something did happen. Miss Hart, I have determined the sound that made you faint. It was likely the sound of Kay falling onto the storeroom floor. Well, shit.
Well, what's your point? Nobody's perfect.
Look at her, Mr. Edgeworth. That's the kind of person you're relying on.
Kay fell into the storeroom after the body double had left the roof.
In that case, I have a theory on how things happened. After that cowardly body double fired a shot at me, he went and hid in the shadows until Kay fell into the storeroom.
What?
So what if he was hiding?
Good grief, you guys still haven't noticed.
What if the body double had stayed hidden until Lotta had fainted? And then he went down to the 51st floor.
That's... that can't be. Precisely. The locked room mystery on the roof has been unlocked. Gah. Go! I can't make that sound. He even said it in my voice.
But wait, there's more. I told the hidden body double about John Marsh. That's why he attacked John the next day during practice, but got himself killed instead.
Wait, what?
In other words, the one who murdered the body double was none other than John!
John had no motive to kill the body double.
He knew. He knew he was the real president's son.
And how would he have known that?
Because I told him so. In a letter.
What did you say? Wait, what? What letter?
That is a lie.
Yep, it's all a lie.
Huh?
But then again, maybe not. Maybe I really did tell him.
Holy shit, Simon.
Right, John?
It's true that I caused Mozilla's head to fall, but I didn't know about my dad until today. I'm not lying.
Oh, really? I wonder about that. I found out about the head falling thanks to the bug. Now, if you were the one who caused it to fall, and the body double was crushed to death... That settles it! You're the culprit! You successfully carried out your revenge! Congratulations! All the pieces of the puzzle are now in place. As Mr. Edgeworth would say...
The logic fits. Now then, any rebuttals? Jerk. Stop mimicking people! God, I'm getting like vibes of the Phantom from Dual Destinies now.
Manipulating humans into fighting with each other. Sounds just like me, right? I did the same thing to Knightley and Blaze. At any rate, there's no way the body double could have gone for a ride in my balloon. The double was crushed by the monster's head, right? And who was it that caused the monster's head to fall?
I'm thinking of something else might have possibly happened.
Do you understand now? Who the body double's real killer is? The truth that I provided them with gave them a big motive for murder. Get it? Those two tried to kill each other because of the truth you're so fond of.
Impossible.
Hey, you detectives over there! Hurry up and arrest this murderer! What's wrong? Why aren't you moving?
Damn.
I thought so. Just admit it. In the end, aren't you all the same as Blaze and the body double? You ignore the prime suspect and come after me without any evidence. How easily it can be distorted to best suit your needs! This law you all believe in!
That is by no means true.
If you're not going to arrest anyone, maybe I should have a talk with the policeman outside. If I tell them that John Marsh is the killer, they'll be forced to take action!
Doesn't work quite that way. Simon Keyes, your testimony isn't over yet. Yeah, we're also not in a courtroom.
Really? I figured you'd try to stop me, Mr. Edgeworth. You don't have any evidence, do you? Which means there's no chance for you to win, right? But if you still plan to stop me, you should be prepared to take on this much risk!
This much? What? That much?
It's only natural. After all, the fate of the true culprit, John Marsh, is at stake here.
Hey, Miles? Why don't you take a nice deep breath? Mr. Shields, at times like this, you should take a breather and think back. Defense attorneys always remain calm in a pinch and smile in the face of danger. Oh, Gregory's theme! The point of contention between your logic and his claims lies in the body double's escape route. How's about, for example, we think of it like this. What's important isn't whether or not the body double got on the balloon, but rather, if we were to assume he did, what circumstances would have allowed for that? Turn my thinking around. Well, all I'm doing is a cheap imitation of your old man. Did it help? Circumstances that would have allowed the body double to get on the balloon. That's right, the body double not only had a large build, but he also had a gun. And in spite of that, no traces of sleeping drugs were found in his system. Which means, it can't be.
Mr. Edgeworth, are you ready yet? Hope you haven't forgotten about this!
I'm just like sitting here like, how the heck does how does this interpretation work inside the game? I'm like, there's just like suddenly this bar that shows out? This is bad. I must break his testimony somehow. Well, we're gonna break it, alright? Just give it a second. So you manipulated the body double and John to your will. You seem rather persistent about that, aren't you?
Very much so. I'm an animal tamer, after all. And isn't the greatest animal in the world man? I just tell people the truth in order to help them get revenge. They should all be thanking me!
Mr. Edgeworth, I'm kind of scared.
Steel yourself, Kay. One who so sees a revenge is a jest. This is an opponent we must stop at all cost.
The sins of the past are scary. So scary. You'll never see your retribution coming.
So you still intend to insist that you were not directly involved to the very end?
Right. I never dirtied my own hands. I just like to watch as they hate and kill each other, never realizing that they were being manipulated all along.
Spectating from afar, just like you did 12 years ago.
You mean the SS5 incident? That's so funny! If I remember correctly, all your father's hard work amounted to nothing. Wouldn't you normally call someone like that incompetent?
You! Agent Lang, restrain yourself. Damn it! We don't know the conclusion your father arrived at. However, we are here now because he chased after his footsteps.
Sorry to interrupt your little moment, but I don't believe that kind of idealism will solve anything. Besides...
God, this guy's so creepy. Oh man, Simon, why? Why did I have to come to this? I was liking you. That's the only way the double could have gotten off the tower.
Well, let's suppose that was the case. Even if I had carried the body double down. What's the problem with that?
So you admit it, you did carry the body double.
Let's not make a fuss over absurd opinions, Mr. Edgeworth. That's just not like you. You think the body double held me at gunpoint and asked me to go on a sightseeing joyride? There's no way that could have happened. And you know that full well, don't you?
It's possible you negotiated with him by using the information about John as a bribe.
But he shot at me. remember? There's just no way we could negotiate!
In that case, what if you used sleeping drugs and transported him while he was knocked out?
We just said he didn't have any in the system. Then allow me to ask, have they detected any traces of sleeping drugs from his body? Ugh, it's no good. I can't find any openings.
Mr. Edgeworth, isn't there something more interesting we should be talking about?
Allow me to propose a question. Was the double really crushed beneath the monster's head?
For a genius prosecutor, you sure are quick to withdraw your previous statements. Weren't you the one who deduced that he was crushed by the monster's head to begin with?
Indeed, I certainly came to that conclusion once before. However, that was when we knew nothing else that was capable of crushing him to death.
New? Why the past tense? It's not like there's anything else now, you know. The body double was crushed to death by the monster's head. That is an unshakable fact.
Is there nothing else? Some decisive evidence that connects this man to the crushed president?
How unsightly, Mr. Edgeworth! Why don't you stop this useless struggle? Besides, don't you already know who the culprit is? Remember?
Certainly, the one who caused the monster's head to fall was John. However,
Even John himself admits to that.
Well then, doesn't that settle everything? Good job, guys! Case closed! The one who killed the double was John Marsh. And since the police just happened to be here...
no, not yet. There's still room for further investigation.
Don't force yourself! Well then, tell me! What else is there to investigate? And if you can't, I want that kid arrested as soon as possible. You aren't going to overlook a crime, are you? Am I wrong?
Mr. Edgeworth, what do we do? Is there really no hope left?
Think. If Mr. Keyes killed the double, then the murder could only have occurred when the two had met face to face. What he had with him at the time must be the real murder weapon.
Darn it! Does he intend to play innocent until the very end?
The body double's cause of death was rather unique. If he was crushed under the monster's head, maybe he was crushed by the balloon.
Then the killer would be John after all. Isn't there anything else that could have crushed the double?
It's gotta be the balloon. Something else that could have crushed the body double. Alright, now we get to that statement and present the balloon. No, we have another option. John was not the one who killed the body double. He was crushed by a monster.
Quit clowning around! This isn't like you at all! Oh, I get it! Since John is supposed to understand the heart of a monster.
The one who understands the heart of a monster is you.
Not even I have monsters for friends, you know?
Stop being so modest. Didn't you have one very important friend? A monster you control at will. Simon Keyes, you're the one who killed the body double.
That's...
The lion balloon? A monster made of cloth that expands when filled with hot air. It suits you quite well, wouldn't you agree?
Sorry, but I have no idea what you're talking about.
You've been fixated on your claim that you manipulated John in the body double. Probably because it's an impossible fantasy of yours. After all, even an animal tamer cannot tame the dead. The body double had already been murdered while he was on the roof. And the murder weapon was the balloon you were in. I see. Although it floats in the air, that balloon still weighs several hundred pounds. When the double threatened you on the rooftop, you immediately came up with a plan to defend yourself. And that plan was to crush him with your balloon. Quite a stop! Whether the body double wanted to get on, or that he was carrying a gun, none of that matters. Because what you carried in your balloon was the body double's corpse.
Hold on a second, Mr. Edgeworth. You're saying the double was killed on the rooftop 2 nights ago? Well, that simply doesn't match up with the time of death.
What did you say?
That's not like you at all, Mr. Edgeworth. Take a good look at the autopsy report. The time of death was around 11 p.m. last night!
Last night!
That's right. The very night that Muzilla's head fell.
Ah, shit. That is a very valid point, though.
Well, Johnny boy, come on. How about telling us the truth? You killed your father, right? I know the feeling. You hated him, didn't you? Your father, who left you all alone forever.
You're wrong. I had no idea that guy was my dad.
Not this again. Didn't I personally tell you myself?
Still really persistent on that. Was my logic wrong?
Mr. Edgeworth, allow me to thank you once again for chasing down Blaze and Patricia and bringing them both to ruin. My revenge was a success! All thanks to your logic!
If only the time of death matched up, then my logic would fit. Perhaps he did something to throw off the time of death.
And what's more, Dane Gustavia, was it? You even took down the culprit of the IS-7 incident!
Dane Gustavia and the IS-7 incident. Did he freeze him too? That's it. Gustavia killed Dover and hid his body in a block of ice. Mr. Gustavia intended to freeze the body in order to throw off the time of death. If the time of death had coincided with the tea party, Mr. Gustavia would have been suspected. That is correct. Like father, like son! Oh god, that's disturbing.
It's a shame that I didn't get to witness his destruction.
Quite literally, like father, like son.
How can you say that? Wasn't Mr. Gustavia your father, Simon?
I'm scared. I'm so scared. Miss Rowland keeps asking me about that day. Daddy, help me. Why won't you come save me? Is it because I broke my promise with you and didn't eat your sweets? I couldn't care less. My father left me all alone. Even if we share the same blood, that man is not my father.
Honestly, I wouldn't want Gustavia to be my father either, considering how much of a dick he was. I hate to say it, but like father, like son, you're the spitting image of him, Simon. The father you hated so much.
Huh? What are you talking about?
It must have been fate. By sheer coincidence, you just happened to use the exact same method your father did. To throw off the victim's time of death. And we rescued him from the refrigerated warehouse near the harbor, pal! A refrigerated warehouse?
You're saying that I threw off the time of death? How would I have done that?
The answer lies in where you hid the body double's body. This was the place you used to hide the body. Where is it? What am I looking for? The warehouse. There we go.
Take that!
Throwing off the time of death by freezing the body, along with John's kidnapping. It seems that everything is coming together.
The kidnapping? Why are we going back to that? I don't know a thing about it.
Don't forget, John was confined in a refrigerated warehouse. That's right. You kept the body double's corpse in that very same warehouse. 18 years ago, your father hid a body in the same way. Shit! And goddammit, we're...
Are you ready yet, Mr. Edgeworth? Otherwise, I'll take away this big portion of the green bar in the top left-hand corner. You know, the one we can't see. Oh shit, I murdered somebody, but not the fourth wall.
And we're back with more Ace Attorney Investigation 2. We are so close to the end, but Simon wants to keep this going. Jesus Christ. This might take 2 videos, I think. This might take 2 videos. I don't know, just looking at things going on right now. If we assume that the bullet hit something, it would have been the balloon's basket.
Let's examine it immediately.
Alright, it's underneath. There we go. Easy enough. This hole.
It's the bullet hole.
A bullet hole was found in the basket. You won't be able to talk your way out of this one. Excellent. How do you intend to explain the gunshot and bullet hole?
So you figured it out. You're good. I guess it's impossible to hide anything from you. You're making me laugh! This lady didn't even notice the balloon!
He had her leave ahead of him. Didn't you say the body double had planned to kill her?
Maybe he thought it would be bad if someone saw the scene of the murder? At the time, no one knew that the president was a fake, right? Once he got the info on John, he'd be able to kill both mother and son whenever he wanted. Thank goodness he's dead! Now you're both safe. You should be happy.
I would be happy if I knew those circumstances. Whatever emotions you have towards that man, please put them aside until it's all over. For now, please continue your story.
As you wish. And so, that cowardly body double must have panicked when an eyewitness suddenly appeared from the skies.
We're gonna skip that. Spit it out already.
Okay. No need to be impatient.
Another testimony.
It happened when I was riding the balloon to the rooftop. I saw the body double and you, Miss Courtney, on the roof. Talk about a surprise. Only the double noticed me. He told Miss Courtney to leave ahead of him. He then pointed a gun at me and fired.
Why did he want to shoot down the balloon?
It's simple. The body double had intended to kill Miss Courtney.
Kill me?
That's right! You talked to the double about John, didn't you? Well, it's not like the body double would have met you otherwise. From his point of view, it was like showing him evidence that he was a fake.
You mean he was afraid of Judge Courtney because she knew about John's past?
Afraid. That's exactly right! That body double was a coward after all. I even remember how his hands were trembling when he fired the gun at my balloon! Are we all clear now? I was only there by chance. Just a friendly witness who was passing by.
That could be the case, but since we know you're the true culprit, we can't have that happen. Alright, what are we doing here? Let's press. Around what time was that?
I think it was around 11 p.m. It should coincide with the time Miss Courtney and company were on the roof, right?
Yes, it was indeed around that time.
There doesn't seem to be any contradictions. However, the time frame is important.
And it was at that moment.
Are you saying this rooftop rendezvous was beyond your expectations?
There's no way I could have known about that beforehand. Well, once the dust settled, I could guess what would have happened though. The double had intended to kill Miss Courtney. Hey, did you realize that?
No, I did not realize it.
It's because you were blabbing on and on about that kid. What kind of mother are you? If things had gone badly, your kid might have died because of you!
That's a little uncalled for. I'm your opponent, not her. Don't change the conversation. Judge Courtney, I'd like you to please leave this to me.
My apologies, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Oh, goddess of law. Please watch over this man and grant him aid.